up, you guys? Yes, welcome back to the weird side of the internet. And today, we're gonna be talking about furries. Now, if you don't know what a furry is, basically it's a person who wears an animal suit and they take on a fursona. And some people like to have sex in the suits and some people don't. Me personally, like, that's the first thing I would do.
It's absolutely amazing. It has a lot of sugar. I think I drank like 2 bottles and it's really good. Anyway.
I want that on top of me.
Second thing, I just hit 8,000 subscribers. Thank you guys so much.
He deserves a lot more than that. Guys, please go to Kero's channel and subscribe. Can we get Kero to 100K? I think we can. Kero, if we get you to 100K, can I fuck you in that suit?
First, I'd like to say I'm sorry. I know that was a lot to take in, but I'd also like to let you know that it gets way worse. Like, way, way worse. And it's not even Shane's fault either. So, enjoy.
I want him to rip my throat out.
So, you know those kind of like Vice-style documentary videos you come across sometimes? Like, the ones that discuss like taboo topics or strange communities that are often looked down upon, and give the people who partake in those communities room to speak. And then when you hear them speak, you think, you know what, maybe they're not so bad after all. Maybe they're not that different to us. Maybe people should stop sending them death threats. Those kind of videos. Well, today we're going to take a look at when that goes horribly wrong. And by the way, horribly wrong is probably an understatement. So way back in 2017, prior to being outed as the Antichrist, Shane Dawson had a fairly popular mini-series type thing. It was called the Weird Side of YouTube. Now in these videos, he'd look into the weirder communities on the internet and learn and talk about them with an open mind. Try and get the viewers to do the same. Now this is all well and good until July 6th, 2017, when Shane uploaded one of these videos covering furries. I'm not going to waste anyone's time explaining what a furry is, because chances are if you're watching this video you know what they are. And if you know what they are, you're probably at least aware of all the stereotypes and negative connotations surrounding them. Personally, I think they're cool and ultimately harmless, and I don't really get the bad rap they have. However, when you have a fandom that is as big and as out there as like the furry fandom, you're gonna come across some real disturbed individuals every now and again.
I want him to rip my throat out.
The actual interview itself went pretty smoothly. Shane asked him a load of questions one might have about being a furry, such as why, and do they fuck each other in the fursuit, and if so, how? Just a few questions.
Right.
Most of us do it for like a hobby or a lifestyle.
Right. Well, we'll get to the hobby and the lifestyle in a second, but I want to get to the sex. Like, do you have like a special pouch that you could like open up, or how does it work?
Well, I'm not a kangaroo. Okay, so you're talking about mersuits, which those are suits specifically designed for sex. Like, this is a fursuit. It doesn't have any extra zippers or like stuff for your junk to come out. So mersuits have a zipper in the front and the back, so you can successfully do the sex.
Wow, so you don't consider yourself a like furry fucker?
No, Shane, he isn't, but he's definitely something else, and that's what we're going to discuss next.
I want him to rip my throat out.
Just a quick warning before I continue, this is going to get real disgusting really quick. If you couldn't handle the case of that Sappho person, I recommend you stop watching now. So, you remember at the start when I was talking about those Vice-style videos about weird communities? Well, when you're making one of those videos, you need people who know a lot about it and can represent it in a positive light. And to make a long story short, Shane could not have picked a worse person than Kero the Wolf to represent the fandom. This dude is every single furry stereotype combined into one and more. Like, way, way worse than you can imagine. Shit, that reminds me, actually, this isn't written. Another quick warning. When I talk about this, it's not going to be in as much detail as other videos, because I'm not trying to turn this into a video essay. So, in case you go research this for yourself, I recommend Cecil McFly's videos, Don't Mess with Dogs. But if you stumble across a Kiwi Farms thread, there is a file on there, it's like a mega link. Don't download it, right? Like, I've been on the internet for ages, right? And as a lot of people have, I've seen some like really messed up stuff on there. This is probably like one of the worst, actually probably the worst thing I have ever seen online. Like, worse than all the live leak videos, all that stuff. So just be warned, stay away from that file. I think it's called like chat logs or something. I haven't seen it in years, but like I still remember the stuff that was on there. Think of that shit that Sappho person was into, combined with the Saw franchise, and combined with a bit of necrophilia. It's fucked. So just over a year after Shane's video dropped, on the 16th of November 2018, a Twitter user by the name of Pseudonym made a thread exposing members of a zoo sadism ring on Telegram, one of the members being Kero. Now, I'd say out of all the members, Kero definitely wasn't the worst. I think that could possibly go to Snake Thing, who Kero was buddy-buddy with until he was sent to prison for 25 years after taking a plea deal. So congrats, I guess. You're not a nonce, Kero. Well done. Still doesn't excuse the fact that you actually got off to all the other shit, and also fucked your dog.
I want him to rip my throat out.
After this whole thing was exposed, as you can imagine, Shane took the video down. Kero went MIA for 2 years whilst being investigated for all the zoo sadism shit. Unfortunately, he wasn't charged with anything due to the statute of limitations when it comes to animal stuff in his state. But on March 21st, 2021, he came back with a video called My Side.
Let's start, so we can put this whole thing behind us. First, let's talk about the logs. They were posted by a Twitter user in September 2018. They depicted horrific things that were said between a group of people on Telegram. There was also a list of people allegedly involved in the chats, but of the ones included was my name. While it is true I have talked to Snake Thing before, I didn't know he was the monster he turned out to be. We were not friends, just some guy I'd been in some furry group, and we talked about feral cartoons. The logs of me are not real. There was none of that nasty shit in there, just a normal conversation between two people who like feral characters.
I don't think there was a single thing said in those logs that you could consider a normal conversation.
Secondly, I want to point out the legitimacy of the person who posted the logs. This user claims to be an actual confessed zoophile, and the logs contain images of bestiality. How does that make him a legitimate source if he himself is one of those people that abuses animals? A lot of people are so eager to believe what they see online, but they don't take the time to think about things or ask basic questions. 1. How can the source be trusted? 2. What's the motive? In the video shared by him, actual animals were harmed.
Whilst the person who initially leaked the logs is messed up in their own right, I'm more likely to believe them over Iranian super hackers and cancel culture or whatever the fuck. Anyways, as of recording this, his most recent videos from a month ago, he's still active on other platforms. Grindr is better than Twitter. Jesus, I can't imagine why you think that. You know, maybe he wouldn't like Grindr as much either if Hung Daddy 69 knew the kind of shit he got up to. So the reason I even made this video in the first place was because I was reminded about it after the whole like Sappho controversy thing that happened a while back. On top of that, I thought it was kind of like funny in a like fucked up sick joke kind of way, the fact that Shane could not have picked a more fucked up person to represent furries in that video. It's like, you cannot make this shit up. Also, keep in mind that I barely even scratched the surface on the Kero logs. Again, I highly recommend watching Cecil McFly's 3-part series, Don't Mess with Dogs, because she covers everything in that. It's like over 3 hours long. There's so much in there. And that's pretty much it. So thanks for watching.